Grand Day Soul Siblings. It's Shay Seeking from American Aborigines Unchained here on YouTube and Facebook. And this is not your mama's Bible study because we know that history lied. So again, I've been posting some stuff on my Facebook because I'll tell you two things. I have been using for the past 2 years the same software, QuickTime, to record my videos. I have recorded 3 extensive videos on these topics. And for some reason, they cannot be loaded. They cannot be altered. I can't do anything to them in order to put them, they will not load onto YouTube or anything. So again, I know people may be thinking this is a far reach or stretch, but there is software, okay, that can detect certain language in this time. And just like they have done to the trumpet, by taking him off, they are also doing this to people that are going to be able to see and hear in these times in order to warn or to tell or to share something that has been put on them by the Christ consciousness, if we want to just put it in a layman's term, that is going to be upon some of the people, okay, that would have been, I'll explain it in a minute, the martyrs or the witnesses that are going to be speaking something, okay? So again, don't think that they have already been censoring and taking down YouTube channels that speak about these things and letting other garbage remain. They have, if you've noticed, the whole thing was going on in the Capitol. They really limited, and YouTube did not have anything within that first 24 hours until they were able to conduct things with the media, okay, the way that they would like them to appear to the people. And you will also notice that during that time, they took a lot of time to start talking about, you know what, theorist, okay, conspiracy, okay, and now they're starting to turn this around and say that these people think that this type of behavior is okay. They think that this is this, and they're going to turn these people into the enemies. Again, most friends and families have already done that because they cannot relate to what these people are doing. And so again, I'm going to try this differently on my phone with this thing, and I'm going to just take them in small bites and try to give them or deliver them to you that way. Hopefully this works. So we're talking about the 7 seals of God. The Bible's book of Revelations are the 7 symbolic seals, okay? The secure that secured the book or scroll that John, okay? Now remember these names, because a lot of these names have carried on into certain people that are in the front lines today, or the ones that are being exalted on high in these times, that are in places of power, okay? Because again, I'm not telling you what it is or what it ain't. I'm just simply sharing what it looks like to me. And I'm not telling you that these are these people, but they may be of the bloodline. They may be of, the Bible talks a lot about, it was the son of this and that and that. All right. So again, even if it's not the bloodlines, they are playing out this act as if we are in the book of Acts, of some of these kings, okay, which are presidents, okay, that have been placed on thrones by God, okay. So they have been using them, or they are the ones that are playing this out, but it's in such a modern way, and they've given you such a perception of what the biblical text is talking about that they've altered your perception, which is damn near everything, okay? So again, let's see that, okay, so John of Patmos, and let's just notice that I believe that Trump's first name or middle name is John, okay? Saw in an apocalyptic vision. The opening of the seals of the document occur in Revelations chapter 5 through 8 and marks the second coming of the Christ and the beginning of the apocalypse. Now, the Christ, again, is representing the consciousness, which is within most likely the people, original people and their offspring, indigenous or whatnot. Excuse me. that they want to, that they might be calling a certain virus that's going around. Okay, so they're giving you the perception of this thing as if it is dangerous, when it's really dangerous just to them, because it's us raising our vibration and frequency in order to rid the planet of these particular people. Okay, and there's supposed to be unity, and we're supposed to be gathering, and we're supposed to be damn near probably chanting and doing these types of things uh in order to work together on a spiritual level, to get rid of these particular type of beings that have been reigning and plaguing the earth, which is the original people and its offspring, which are people that made pilgrimages, or immigrants and other alien groups and subgroups that are connected to the earth. These earthlings, or the people of the earth, are the original people or aboriginal people that had been thrown down in order for this society or this construct to be placed over it. And it has been ruling over it, keeping these people in a low vibrational and in a lower status or caste or class, and giving you the perception of racism in order to keep the people divided and fighting against each other, when we really need to be looking at the people that are on high, and the principalities and the rulers in those particular places. All right. So again, you'll notice we're talking about 5 and 8. You'll notice that a lot of stuff right now is going on between the 5th and the 8th of January. Okay. There'll be a lot of stuff going on for the next 12 days as well. Okay. These things are marked in these books. Okay. That they knew a lot of people were going to get rid of once they knew that something was off, but they didn't think that, well, they knew we were coming, that there was also a class of us that would be, or a groups of us that have this in our genetic makeup, that would be able to see these things and exploit them. So now it says here, so again, I always tell you that the earth's core heating up has to do with you. Global warming has to do with you in the elevating or the ascension of the spiritual level of the people. Okay. So now it says that and again, they want to hurry up because he knows he has a short time in order to talking about he's going to be, giving a million people this, in this vial with this sharp sickle. Okay. Very soon. Okay. So they're going to try to implement this very heavily, and as soon as these people get in. All right. So, and that just tells you that they're trying to beat a certain clock or a time. All right. Because again, that's what they want to do in your mind, is turn back the time and erase some things. Okay. Alter. Okay. So again, we're talking about altars in the biblical text. It's not always talking about a wooden thing that, like the presidents have in front of them when they're speaking. No, it's also talking about changes it to the groups of people or the animals and plants, what they represent, what they call you in the Bible. And it also has to do with altering and changing of things like laws and things like this. All right. So it says here that the apocalypse, revelations upon the Lamb opening a seal. Now, I just went through here because I'm looking at names, and I found out that there is a guy named Lamb that has something to do with Biden in this whole thing that's going on right now. Okay. So in my eyes, again, I was thinking that the lamb would represent someone from Puerto Rico. I'm still having my eyes on Ortiz or whatever her name is. But it also could be representing this person here, because names are going to be right in front of our faces right now. Okay. Those are going to be the important things that we need to look to. Okay. And bloodlines of those names. Opening a seal on the cover of the book or scroll. Okay. A judgment is released. So a judgment is released. So again, Antichrist, right? Because again, it doesn't say the return of Jesus here, does it? It says the return of Christ. So when the Bible talks about Christ, I listen in a different way, because I can tell that the writing is even different than when they say Jesus Christ or Jesus of Nazareth and all this other stuff. No, when they say Christ, pay attention, because it could be pertaining to something that has to do with you and that which would the temple that is within you. Okay, that this Jesus actually spoke about. All right. So there's a whole lot of things going on in law and things like this with order, because law is just the same thing as the word. All right. So now it says, and that these, again, these are mere men, or they may be some type of different type of beings. But at the end of the day, to us, they're mere men that have given us the perception that we're talking about some heavenly bodies or something. Okay. Heavenly is just in a high place. Okay. So it says here that a judgment is released. Now, this is their judgment. This is something that is really harming them. They want to, we're affected by it because we are it. But this is why they don't want you touching people. And this is why they want you to stay your ass at home and stay away from your friends, but you can take your ass to work. You see what I'm saying? All right. So this judgment has been released. What they're doing right now is setting up to battle against God, and that is the one that is within. They are taking your antibodies and coming up with these concoctions and testing all the time so that they can monitor what's going on within the body. Okay? This is what's going on right now. All right? So it says here that the judgment is here. If you look at a lot of with this Warnock and all these other people, and with their names and their heraldry and their nationality and all this other stuff, it adds back to the protection of this, I mean, we'll go through it, hopefully. Okay. Hopefully, if this works. All right. So, again, this is why they scared the hell out of you and got you lined up so they can test you. Okay, this is the testing that they're talking about also in Revelations, to go and test the measures and test this and test the earth and all this other stuff. Okay, so it says the opening of the first 4 seals releases the 4 horsemen. Okay, each with his own specific mission. Again, we're still in 6 through 8. Pay attention to what has been going on, because it's going to be headlined in the media. The terms that they are using are very strange. Dark days, dark winter, darkness, insurrection. Pay attention. Okay? And it says here that the opening of the 5th seal releases the cries of martyrs. Okay? Because again, things are locked up for a certain amount, for a certain time. So we are looking at the luminaries, or the stars, which are entertainment industry, merchants, all of these people that are in the heavens, right? Even when it comes to their children, which are the commoners, peasants, and servants that have been placed above you on in the abode of God, or in the caste system. Okay. So again, because we're at the bottom, we are the untouchable Dalit people that have been trapped there because they overthrew us. Okay. All right. So now this is going to release the cries of martyrs, and they know that, and that's why they are monitoring us and censoring us. Again, when we're talking about a censor, what are we talking about? See, censorship. Sometimes, you see, this is why it's great to do etymology. Okay. It says, for the word or the wrath of God. So these celebrities and all these people that have been deceiving you are hiding from you, the face of you. They are afraid at this point in time. So fear for them means bad things for us. See? All right. So the 6th seal prompts the earthquakes. Now this is going to be, I told you guys, and maybe I didn't because my videos haven't been able to be uploaded. In the area of Racine, there has been seen school buses with tinted windows that are white and traveling behind military vehicles. Just 2 days ago, filled with people to the brim. Every seat filled at least with 2 people, okay, on the bus, right? All right. So the earthquaking is you. The earthquaking is the original people making moves and speaking and sharing information and opening eyes and waking people up, and the crying out of, listen, pay attention, guys, look, this is what's going on, don't trust this. Okay. And the cataclysm events, this is what's about to go to fuck down. I'm telling you right now. The 7th seal coups. Again, it's funny it says coup, because we talking about something is a coup, aren't we? Even the media is calling some of these people actors, aren't they? Okay. So it says here cues, sorry, 7 angelic trumpeters, who in turn cue the seven bowl judgment and more cataclysmic events. I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm just kind of like riled up a little bit. Okay. So 8 through 13. So we need to be paying attention to what's going on through these next couple of days. All right. This next, up until the time that boy gets on the seat, if he even does. Because something tell me that somebody else is going to be there. And if he does get in, he's not going to last that long and somebody else is going to get in. And possibly even if the other person gets back in, which is why they would be calling for impeachment in these times when it's so close, then he may not last that long either. Okay. So now what I'm saying is the earthquake is going to be having something to do with Jacob's trouble. Who is Jacob? Blake. Again, John, referencing to you know who, the trumpet. Okay. Then we were looking at the dates, January 5th through the 8th. I'm going to show you something about the archangels that are supposed to be involved in this time that is around the same thing, and it's going to show you something, and I hope that you guys understand. I'll be right back with the second part, and I will see you guys then.